Eyes Wide Open. In 2015, Sabrina Carpenter dropped her debut album Eyes Wide Open at the age of just 15. She was already a big name in the Disney world, but she wanted to prove she was more than just a TV girl. Sabrina was known to be a singer with feelings, dreams, and some serious range. This album kinda feels like peeking into her diary as a teen, figuring out who she is both as a person and as an artist. The songs are all about hope, first love, curiosity, and the tiny heartbreaks that feel huge when you're growing up. Tracks like We'll Be the Stars capture late-night stargazing vibes, sharing dreams with your best friend, while Eyes Wide Open is about taking risks and seeing the world as exciting rather than intimidating. It's personal, heartfelt, and showcases her impressive vocal range. Musically, Eyes Wide Open is a folk pop and teen pop record with acoustic and country influences. The perfect blend of guitars, fun percussion, and light synths make it feel bright and honest. The banger, Can't Blame a Girl for Trying, mixes humor and charm perfectly, while The Middle of Starting Over is basically that sad song we've all blasted while crying over our crushes. Eyes Wide Open didn't have a crazy start. It managed to sell 12,000 copies in its first week and peaked at number 43 on the US Billboard 200. But it hit the fans right in the feels, and they immediately connected with how genuine she felt. And by the way, the critics were like, okay, this girl's got potential. Evolution. After her Sweet debut, Sabrina came back in 2016 with her second album, Evolution, and this was her announcing, I'm not just a Disney kid anymore. She was only 17, but the sound and attitude on this record felt way more mature and confident. She also transformed her music from soft acoustic guitars and folk pop to pop, R&B, and electronic vibes, showing that she could hold her own among mainstream artists. This album feels like Sabrina stepping out of her comfort zone, taking risks and saying, yep, I can do edgy too. The songs are mostly about growth, independence, love that isn't always rainbows and butterflies, and the messy parts when you have to figure yourself out as a teenager while growing into an adult. While On Purpose was all about sweet romance, and Thumbs was the smash hit about people living on autopilot mode and not chasing their dreams. If you ever watch the music video, you will notice it was filmed in just one long take by a single camera. Musically, Evolution is bold. You get funky beats, heavier bass, more polished production, and lyrics that dig a little deeper. Sabrina co-wrote most of the songs for this album, showcasing her artistic side as well. Fans were shook to hear her stepping away from the lighter sound of Eyes Wide Open into something darker and sharper, and critics gave her props for evolving her style so quickly. Just like Eyes Wide Open, this album wasn't a major hit either, but it certainly made noise in the music industry. Evolution debuted at number 28 on the Billboard 200 with around 13,000 copies sold in its first week. Songs like Thumbs and No Words became mainstream, and people still jam to it regularly to this day. Singular, Act 1. Then we had Singular, Act 1. Around 2018, when this dropped, Sabrina was 19 and she was ready to leave her teen pop era behind. This album feels like late-night confessions and messy texts mixed with funky beats. The themes are love, heartbreak, self-discovery, and embracing your flaws while figuring out what you want from life. Tracks like Almost Love are total club bangers, but still have that sense of vulnerability. Then there's Sue Me, which is basically a sass-filled anthem for anyone dealing with haters, exes, or just people who doubt you. So this album is totally different from what she had produced before. Singular Act 1 leans into pop and electropop with fun synths, heavy bass, and catchy hooks that stick in your head for days. Sabrina co-wrote most of the songs, which really lets her personality shine through. The album was a decent once again, debuting at number 103 on the US Billboard 200. But it was the fans who absolutely loved it. Singular Act 1 started to pave a path for her to grow into a mainstream pop artist, and it was certain she wasn't just a one-album wonder. Singular Act 2. Singular Act 2 was Sabrina's fourth studio album, which came out in 2019. She was 20 at the time and was ready to show the world that her time has come. So Singular Act 2 feels like a sequel to Act 1, but it is so much bolder, more confident, and way more polished. The themes are love, heartbreak, self-confidence, and growth, mixed with those messy moments when you're figuring out relationships and yourself at the same time. The most popular song in this album was In My Bed, which was basically Sabrina talking about her anxiety and overthinking. Then there was Pushing 20, which was about her reaching 20, an age where she stops caring about others. This album leans into upbeat pop with electronic and R&B influences. You can dance to almost all of the songs, and it is filled with punchy synths and infectious hooks. There are moments of vulnerability, like Exhale, which is quite relatable to most adults who want a break from all the pressure and drama surrounding them. This album performed much better than her previous works, as Sabrina was already a household name by now. Singular Act 2 debuted at number 138 on the Billboard 200, and the fans absolutely loved it. This album is where Sabrina really started to show that she could balance pop bangers with vulnerability. Emails I Can't Send. After 3 long years, Sabrina finally dropped her 5th studio album, Emails I Can't Send. This album is so personal. It's basically her spilling every thought she's ever been too scared to say out loud. This album is really special because it's Sabrina's most vulnerable and unfiltered album, where she turns private heartbreak, betrayal, and messy feelings into confessional pop. She has mixed, stripped-back ballads with touches of folk pop and alt pop alongside her sharper sound to make the songs feel raw and fresh. You can totally vibe with tracks like Skinny Dipping, which is all about enjoying the moment without thinking about the future, or Bet You Wanna, which talks about the irresistible attraction between two people. This album is perfect for those nights when you're alone and want to reminisce about the past. Emails I Can't Send is rooted in pop, but at times it ventures into alternative pop with the songs like Vicious and Fast Times. There's also a variation of experimental beats along with acoustic sounds, which is sure to give you eargasms. Fans went crazy over it because it's so relatable, like she's finally saying all the stuff we've been thinking but couldn't. The album did really well, debuting at number 23 on the Billboard 200. It gained platinum-level certification in the US, along with hundreds of millions of streams on Spotify. Short and sweet. 2025 was when Sabrina finally won the Grammys she had thoroughly deserved. When her 6th studio album, Short and Sweet, dropped in 2024, it took the internet by storm. Her songs Espresso and Please, Please, Please were basically on everyone's Instagram stories, and the whole album was her most confident and playful project yet. By now, she's 25, and you can hear her maturity in every track. She's taken everything she's learned from growing up in the spotlight, from teen pop beginnings to more experimental sounds, and turned it into something totally her own. Sabrina clarified that the title of this album stems from how some of her shortest relationships had the deepest emotional impact. The album revolves around themes like romantic nihilism, empowerment, heartbreak, human, and also sensual chemistry. Her hit single Espresso topped the Billboard Global 200 charts and has over 2.4 billion streams on Spotify, making it her most popular song till date. And oh yeah, it also won the Grammy for the Best Pop Solo Performance of the Year. The music video for Espresso in itself is a vibe, with its retro-inspired celebration of beach glamour and that blend of black and white with colorful party scenes. Please, Please, Please is another banger, which captures those messy, hilarious crush moments we've all had. Then there's Good Graces, which basically says she won't tolerate disrespect from others. And who can ever forget Taste, which fans believe was inspired by a real-life love triangle involving her, Camila Cabello, and Shawn Mendes. This album combines the elements of pop, R&B, funk, and even disco at times. The beats are mad bouncy and the lyrics are very relatable. This has to be her best and the most popular album till date. Man's Best Friend. In August 2025, Sabrina Carpenter released her 7th studio album, Man's Best Friend, a 12-track pop project that feels bold, unapologetic, and completely true to who she is. At 26, Sabrina wasn't trying to prove anything anymore. Instead, she leaned fully into her persona, embracing humor, sexuality, and satire in a way that was both playful and self-assured. When she dropped the album cover, on all fours, in a black dress, hair tugged by a faceless man, it instantly took the internet by storm. Some fans defended it, some criticized it, and Sabrina, in typical fashion, laughed it off by posting a parody alternate cover on social media. The buzz only fueled more anticipation for the music itself. The lead single Man-Child dropped earlier June 5th and quickly became one of the songs of the summer. It hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, her second chart topper after Espresso, and also topped the charts in the UK and Ireland. The song is about exactly what the title says, man-children, and the frustration of dating men who are immature. Its mix of humor and honesty resonated with listeners everywhere because, let's be real, it's an experience most, if not all, women who date men will have experienced. The song poses the question, why do so many of us, including world-famous pop stars, get stuck dating childish men? Then came Tears, a disco-inspired anthem. It's cheeky and catchy all at once. Lyrically, it flips the script. Instead of celebrating bad boys, Sabrina sings about being turned on by a man who's responsible, respectful, and does the little things right. With lyrics like, I get wet at the thought of you, being a responsible guy, it's both funny and relatable. The music video, featuring actor Coleman Domingo in drag in a Rocky Horror-style world, was the perfect match for the song's playful energy. Sugar Talking is about a guy who talks big but doesn't treat you right, and yet the chemistry keeps pulling you back. It's messy, funny, and real, like so much of Sabrina's music. Throughout the record, she balances humor and innuendo with sharp observations about love, relationships, and self-worth. At its core, Man's Best Friend is about calling out the ways women are underestimated or mistreated, while also having fun with those ideas. It's bold without being heavy-handed, sexy without being insincere, and always self-aware. If Short and Sweet was the album that made Sabrina a superstar, Man's Best Friend is her at her most confident, an artist who knows exactly what she wants to say and says it her way.